Welcome to Connected to Fiber's Cell Capability Demo for Network Providers. As a network provider, are you challenged with communicating your serviceable locations, product availability, and pricing to the market in your partner's preferred format and in an automated fashion? Moreover, how do you streamline the quoting process and generate thousands or even tens of thousands of quotes in a matter of minutes? If you're struggling with this, then you may be missing sales opportunities because your partners don't have immediate access to updated, accurate information about your network serviceability, products, and pricing at a location level. With Connected to Fiber's Industry Cloud for connectivity, we will help you share your network footprint and pricing with partners in a variety of automated ways so that you can be sure you're considered in as many deals as possible. Specifically, the Connected World allows you to manage your network footprint all in one place and automate communication of that footprint to partners via email, APIs, and a serviceability portal. You can also automate the configure, price, quote, or CPQ process when quoting locations either individually or in bulk. In this demo, we are going to pretend that you are a fictitious network provider named Blue Ocean Telecommunications, and we'll walk through how you can do all of this in the platform. Here is what you see when you enter the Connected World. This is the specific instance for Blue Ocean, and it's a very visual way to see your network routes and drill down into locations that you're connected to along that route. During the onboarding process, the Connected to Fiber GIS team will take your building list or KNZ file and produce cleaned, validated, and enriched addresses to then import into My Buildings in your instance of the Connected World. In addition to your on-net buildings, we can run a near-net analysis for you and also pull in Type 2 partners locations as well. So all of your serviceable locations are in one place, categorized and easily searchable, as you can see here. As a network seller, you will also want to set up a product catalog and have your products and pricing configured in the platform. You can see a demo of how you do that in our price capability demo. The goal is to get your serviceable locations, products, and pricing all into the platform so that this information can be sent and communicated to your partners in an automated fashion. Now that you have all of your serviceable locations, products, and pricing stored in one place, how is this communicated to your partners in an automated fashion? There are several ways in which your network footprint and pricing can be shared out. Via our Building List Manager capability in the Connected World, via our Availability Engine API, via our Serviceability Portal, and finally via our CPQ workflow. Let's explore each one. In the Connected World, the first way to share your network footprint with partners is through Building List Manager. Building List Manager allows you to automate the distribution of your serviceable buildings, products, and pricing to wholesale channel and large enterprise customers in their preferred formats in just seconds. There is an easy three-step process to send out your building lists to your partners here. First, you build the list that you want to send out through this Add Building List button on the bottom right-hand corner. Pick a name for the list and select whether it's a static list or not. If not, it means that it's a dynamic list, which means that you never have to update it for future distributions. And then select Choose Configuration. From here, you can select geography, from country down to state to city. You can also select building category, network build status, building connection status, media type, zoning, building distance band, and supplier. Once you configure, then you hit Save, and now you see that list under the Building List Manager tab. What you can do for each list is click on the plus sign and edit any of the parameters on the list as needed before proceeding. The next step of the process is to identify who you want to send the list to. We do this right in the Contact Manager tab. You can add a single contact through this button on the right lower corner, or you can upload a bulk list by clicking on the three dots and clicking Import. We provide you with a sample template to use, which you can download and fill out. Let's just go ahead and upload a file that I already have, and then click Upload. And now you can see the contacts all in this contact manager. You can also customize the view and search for a specific contact. And you can edit any of these contacts by clicking on the plus button. And then once your contact or contacts are all in here, the final step is to build the distribution. The Distributions tab, Build Distributions button, is where you will configure and schedule the distribution by combining the list that you selected with the contacts that you want to send that list to. So let's try building a distribution. Here on the left, you select the list that you want to send, and then on the right, select the contact that you want to send the list to. Then in this middle section, select the frequency, let's choose monthly, and distribution format. And we have built many required formats from major carriers, so let's just choose C2F medium format. And the date the distribution is going to start sending. And then finally click Create. As you can see, the distribution is successfully created. You can then send the list and schedule manual or automated updates. It's that simple. Once you send the list, what does it look like on the other side? Your partners will receive an email notification like this one on the screen with a link to download the list as an Excel spreadsheet. It's important to note that your partner does not have to be a Connected to Fiber customer in order to receive your building lists. The email describes who the list is from, what type of list it is, the description of the list, the data, the date when it was generated, and a download link and an expiration date. So when your partner clicks on the link, they can download the list as an Excel spreadsheet, and here's what the spreadsheet looks like when your partner opens up the file. If you are sending your building list to a partner that is a Connected to Fiber customer, they will receive your building lists in their instance through one of our partner management capabilities, Network Radar. Network Radar allows providers to manage all of the building lists from their partners so that when you share out your list to them, your buildings will be included in their total list of serviceable locations from partners or their instance of My Buildings. And whatever updates you make to the list will be reflected in the list on their side. In addition to sending out your list via Building List Manager, you can also share your serviceability, products, and pricing via API with Connected to Fiber's Availability Engine API. Your partners can build to this API and subsequently query your serviceability, products, and services offered, as well as pricing at a location level. The Availability Engine API is built right into the Connected World platform so that when a query is made, the response time is in seconds. There is no query size limit either, so whether your partner is querying one address or 100 addresses, the responses back are quick. So here's a view of the API Developer Portal. For Availability Engine, you're able to make a query on a specific location, and you'll receive back a response on company serviceability, list of products available, and pricing for that location. Another way you can share your serviceability and pricing information is through the Connected World Serviceability Portal, which is a dedicated portal for your channel partners to easily access your serviceable locations, products, and pricing. Your partners are able to easily search for a specific location or set of locations and quickly understand whether you service those locations with what products and obtain pricing for that location if available, and then request information on that location. So your partners can type in an address, and the map will navigate to the address. The red pin here indicates that the location is not a serviceable location by your company, so that's a quick and easy way to find that out. Let's put in another address. You'll see that for this address, it's a green pin, which indicates that the address is serviceable by your company. Any of the addresses that are in My Buildings in your instance of the Connected World will show up as being serviceable here in this portal. With locations that are serviceable, the user has a few options. First, the partners can click on this button to get building information. Building information brings up the address for that building as well as the lot long. They can then tab over to see building reference information like what building category it is, the network build status, building connection status, etc. Second, they can click on this icon to get pricing. Your partners are able to see what products, speeds, terms are available for that location, and then the pricing for each of them. And then they're able to filter down the results that they need in this area by entering in the specific product, speed, or term that they are looking for. And then finally, when the partner clicks on the info button here, it automatically sends an email to you letting you know that they are interested in this location and would like more information. What if your partners have a whole list of addresses that they need to check? Using this upload feature up at the top, your partners can look for multiple locations. They can either upload a CSV file with the addresses, or they can simply copy and paste the information right into this area. The addresses will be validated, as can be seen by the green check marks in the last column, and then the users can select the addresses to be imported. And what they will see are the intersections and the non-intersections with the locations that you service, and also see the media type offered at each location. For each of the locations, as we saw before in our single address search, they are able to view the list of products available at that location and the pricing, and then they can also click the button to receive more information. So that was the Serviceability Portal. Finally, Connected to Fiber's CPQ capability will allow you to rapidly generate quotes leveraging pricing you configured at a building level within the Connected World platform. So let's take a look at a couple of different scenarios detailing how our CPQ workflow could work. First, let's say that you are on Blue Ocean's product team and you receive an RFP for multiple locations in Virginia from one of your partners, Songtel. Let's go into My Quotes, which is where you start the quoting process. On this page, you will see a listing of the accounts and deals that you've previously worked on. They may be by enterprise or company or location. You can see that there's already a Starbucks account in here. Let's add in a new account for Songtel by going into Add Account, clicking on Custom, and completing the fields. And then clicking Add. Now you see the account on the list, and you can now add a new deal for Songtel. So click Add New Deal, and let's call this Virginia Locations. And then click Add. And now you see the deal listed under Songtel. Next, you'll want to upload or add the addresses that you've received. As with other areas in the connected world, you can upload addresses in one by one with the single type ahead capability at the top. You can upload a CSV file from your computer, or you can copy and paste a bunch of addresses in the section here, and then click Validate. However you enter the addresses in, the addresses will all be validated, as you can see by the green check marks on the right-hand column. So let's go ahead and select all of the addresses to import. And now you see the list of those locations with additional insight, like the providers at the locations, the competitive rating of the location based on your view of the market and partnerships. And then from here, you can choose to delete locations if you want. For example, you may want to exclude quoting the highly competitive locations indicated in red, but let's just choose to keep all and then click CPQ. Connected to Fiber's Configure Price Quote capability, which immediately applies the pricing logic set up in the platform to a targeted list of locations to generate quotes quickly and seamlessly. So you'll notice that the quoting workflow will take you through a multi-step process. The first step in the process is to add a quote and give that quote a name. So let's call it Songtel RFP. And you can add a quote number and populate all of the other fields if you'd like, and then click Add. The next step is to select a configuration. Depending on what type of user you are, you will have access to a certain product catalog. There's a default product catalog, wholesale, enterprise, and channel product catalog options here. So for this, let's just click Default. Then you have the ability to choose the products that you want to get cost information for. So for each of the products that you select here on the left, a card will display on the right. So if you needed information for Ethernet dedicated and broadband, a card for Ethernet dedicated and broadband will appear on the right. You can also choose to include or exclude either a provider by name or a category of providers. So let's say you wanted to exclude any tower providers in the search results. You can go to this drop down and select Tower to exclude the entire group of tower providers. And then now we move into the product settings on the right. So for each product card you selected on the left, you can select configurations specific to each product. So on the right, let's choose a term and the media type and select desired speed, or you can choose to select all and do the same for broadband. You can also select pricing criteria and choose default or on-net or off-net. And then if you want to associate this quote with a specific account, you can select that here. If you want to include pricing from shared connected to fiber catalogs and third-party APIs that you have existing agreements with in your list, then you can check this box. And then if this box is checked off, this means that the vendor won't be included in the results if they did not offer this particular product. So as you can see, it's very configurable. And it's important to note that you can save any of these configurations, so you can use the same configuration again for future searches. Let's now submit the configuration. You get one last note about submitting this configuration, and if you're sure you want to save, click Save. And within a few seconds, our CPQ engine has priced out each location. Under the covers, our CPQ capability has matched the pricing logic from the product catalog logic that we set up before to the location data attributes that Connected to Fiber has on each location of interest in order to generate a price for that location. Not only did the workflow query your instance of the connected world for pricing information, but we also queried market APIs of partners, whether they're providers within the Connected to Fiber platform or external APIs, and then instantly brought back pricing information to use in the quoting process. So on the screen, you see all of the locations listed. Let's run through some of these columns. MRC stands for monthly recurring charge, which is your price to the customer. Provider MRC is the cost received from your supplier. Margin MRC is the margin that you're adding to the provider MRC. So if you were to combine the provider MRC and the margin MRC, that would get you the MRC that's charged to your customer. And then the same thing for NRC, which is the non-recurring charges. You have the NRC, the provider NRC, and the margin NRC. You can also search and filter on other attributes within the results. For instance, let's enter CenturyLink in this column, and you can see that CenturyLink services many of these locations, so you can see the pricing for those. For other locations that are off-net for Blue Ocean, you can see the providers that can service them and your partner's pricing for those. So for the other locations on this list, you can see that there are options for suppliers and you may want to sort them. There are also predefined filters that you might want to use so that you see the results by lowest MRC per address or lowest MRC per supplier, or if you're looking for lowest MRC with diversity, there's that option. So this is really helpful for you if you have a long list of addresses, since it's a good way to sort the results based on what it is that you're looking for. So with this list, you can select a location or a set of locations and choose to change the pricing for them through this button, Change Price. You can change the MRC, the provider MRC, and change them for the selected rows, either by currency or by percentage. So let's say we want to change the pricing for these selected locations by 10%, and then click Submit. You'll notice the price changed for those locations. Then if you scroll to the bottom, you will see an Audit Logs button, which will let you see the history of all of the changes that were made to any of the locations and the pricing. This is good for tracking changes and for auditing purposes. So now at this point, you can have this pricing flow into the quote generation step, or you can choose to download a CSV file with this information, or you can choose to flow the pricing to your own internal systems like Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics or other CPQ tools with Connected to Fiber's CPQ API. So let's proceed with flowing the pricing to the quoting function in this platform. I selected all of the locations and let's click Next. And the next step in the workflow is managing approvals. Here you can manage the approval workflow to conform to any organization process for pricing and list anyone that needs to approve these prices before you generate a quote. Let's skip that for now and click Next and proceed to generate quotes. In just a few seconds, the platform generated a quote for each location, and you can download this quote as a PDF or CSV file. So the quote here has your logo and will present relevant information, including the account name, deal name, the quote number, quote expiration date, etc. Then you see the list of all of the locations with the description of the terms, speeds, products, along with the MRC, NRC, and terms for each location. You can then use the downloaded file to incorporate into whatever quoting format you use and send outside of the platform, or you can send the quote directly via email from this platform. So let's see how that works. Click Next, and on the screen you can add the recipient and their email address. You'll notice the subject line is pre-populated with Songtel RFP, which you can change easily if you'd like. You can include a quick message within the email body. And then click Send Quote. Once that button is clicked, your contact will get an email that the quote is ready for download. So that is the full walkthrough of the CPQ process if you're looking to respond to an RFP. With the platform, you have the ability to import those locations in the RFP, run validation, and intersect those locations with your network or partner networks, determine and select ideal product suppliers based on their costs and other factors, create pricing that's location specific, and then finally generate quotes at scale to the tune of thousands in a matter of minutes. Let's walk through another scenario. Let's say that you are an SMB sales rep for Blue Ocean and you are looking to quote a single location. You can enter in a specific location up in the search bar and see information about that location. You can click on these various icons to see building information, network information, etc. And then if you click on the $sign, it will take you to the Quick Quote capability. And as a note, you can quickly access Quick Quote by going directly into My Quotes, which is where we started with for the previous scenario, and then go into Quick Quote and enter in the address here. So in this example, the address is pre-populated and then it's validated, as can be seen by the check mark. And then you choose what products, terms, etc. that you want. So let's choose dedicated Ethernet for this and choose 12 and 24-month terms, with fiber being the media type, and let's choose all speeds. And then let's choose to include API pricing and then hit price. And what that will do is to curate all the data from their specific price book for that site, and within seconds provide whatever pricing is attached to that location for that specific configuration selected. You can then add this to a deal in My Quotes by selecting all and saving. selecting the account that you want this to be a part of, and that will allow you to bring it through the quoting process that we walked through previously. Or if you're using another quoting system, you can push this pricing into that system of choice if desired through Connected to Fiber's API capabilities. This is a really compelling capability for an SMB team as they go to quickly price out specific locations based on a company's product catalog that's already been configured in the platform. So those are all of the ways you can share out information to your partners. We want to make sure that we also mention Connected to Fiber's demand engine capability, which is tied to some of the communications means discussed in this demo. So with Demand Engine, we capture requests that come in from all of the above channels, internal APIs, those that come in through the Availability Engine API, the Serviceability Portal, as well as through CPQ. So a quick look at Demand Engine, you can see the requests that have come in almost real time. You can see who the user is, what medium they were using, what type of request it was, whether it was a location request or a pricing request, and what location they were asking about. This is a very powerful tool to help you understand what locations your partners are looking for so you can engage in conversations about pricing and network expansions. To summarize Connected to Fiber's sell capability for network providers, with our SaaS-based platform, you can ultimately capture more opportunities by managing your network footprint in one place and automating the communication of that footprint and pricing out to partners via email, APIs, a serviceability portal, and via our CPQ workflow. For more information about our capabilities for network providers, please visit www.connectedtofiber.com or contact your customer success manager or sales director. Thank you for your attention.